Hi everyone, I'm Walter Miller with Tiger TV Entertainment. We are at that point in the year, the best time of the year, and I'm not talking about Christmas, although like some close competition. It is Oscar season. We're at that point in the season though where, we're right in the middle mark. Nominations have already happened. The actual big night is coming up and we're right smack dab in the middle. So what we're going to do is talk about the nominations, who I think is going to win. And I've done my research. I've looked at my stats. I've looked at the box office receipts. So I think these are some really good guesses. And we're going to talk about those that were snubbed this season, as they are every season, but this season in particular, crazy. So we're going to jump right in with our first category, which is Best Actor. So the nominees are Christian Bale in Vice. We have Bradley Cooper in A Star is Born. Willem Dafoe in At Eternity's Gate. Rami Malek in Bohemian Rhapsody. And Viggo Mortensen in Green Book. All right, so this is a really, really good group of nominees. I was fine with them. There were some people online who, were not so happy with Viggo because they just felt like other people were more deserving. We'll get into who those people are in a bit. But they just, they saw his character as more of a caricature of, someone that was Italian. And where I could see that, I saw all the movies. But when I was watching the Green Book, it was still, I felt like it was a really solid performance all around. And that he did an amazing job with what he has to work with. Now, my predicted winner is Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. It's been a clean sweep so far. I got the Golden Globe, got the SAG. He's just been racking it up. And the main reason that everyone has been going to see Bohemian Rhapsody is because of his performance. That's the one thing that everybody leaves that movie talking about. And, when they have the whole scandal with the director, with the allegations of misconduct with Bryan Singer, and, the movie is still able to, bring an audience in with that standing because of his performance, it just speaks volumes about how good of a performance it is. But those things could work against him, and the biopic has gotten some, backlash just because they're saying that it's not entirely true, as I find with most biopics, and things are out of order, even though the living members of Queen were involved with it. It's still been getting some flack for that. So if there was a possible upset, my guess would be Christian Bale as Vice President Dick Cheney in Vice, or Bradley Cooper as Jackson Maine in A Star is Born. Christian Bale, just the Academy loves him. We love him, but really the Academy really, they really love him. But he gave an amazing performance. And also, it's kind of the same case, kind of a movie that, got some mixed reviews. But he gave a phenomenal performance, and the Academy loves transformational performances. Gained a bunch of weight, put makeup on, all that stuff. They love that, live for it. And Bradley Cooper, here's the thing with that, and we'll get into this later, but he got snubbed for a Best Director nomination. I think that to make up for that, the Academy could possibly give him Best Actor as like a compensation. And, he gave an amazing performance in A Star is Born. I don't think he was the best of this year. I think that is Rami Malek. But I don't think it would be unlike the Academy to give it to him as like a consolation prize. I don't know what I was about to say. But, so that's my thoughts on that. Now, the snubs in this category. A lot of people were upset that Ethan Hawke was not nominated for First Reformed instead of Viggo. Like I said, I'm fine with Viggo's nomination. I thought he did an amazing job in Green Book, but a lot of people were upset about this Ethan Hawke snub, and he does amazing. So I could see that. Another one was John David Washington in Black Klansman. He did an amazing job, and here's the thing. Black Klansman is a really, really serious movie that deals with some heavy, heavy issues, but it also has its very funny moments, and it can be very difficult to find that balance. And John David Washington was the star. He was the lead. So most of that pressure falls on his shoulders. And his part, he did an amazing job just him alone and balancing the dramatics with the comedic side of that movie. And he just, he carried that movie on his shoulders, and he really just gave a phenomenal performance. So I'm sad that he wasn't nominated. And a lot of people thought he would get nominated just because he's Denzel Washington's son. If he were to have gotten nominated, I don't think it would have been for that. I think it would have been for his performance, because it was phenomenal, and the movie's amazing too. But it was sad that he didn't get as much attention this award season as I would have hoped he would have. Another snub, this one surprised me because it got a lot of buzz in October, but Robert Redford in The Old Man and the Gun. This is a Hollywood icon, and for those of you who don't know, we're going to pretend like you do, just because, that's kind of sad. But for those of you who don't know, Robert Redford was like the guy in the 70s, 80s, even the 90s. He was like the Brad Pitt of his day, but like phenomenal actor. And he's a veteran actor, a Hollywood icon, and just he announced before this that this was his last movie. So everyone thought it was just going to sweep award season. But it really didn't, which is surprising because it got amazing reviews too. Another one for this season, another snub, is Lucas Hedges in Boy Erased and Ben is Back. Both movies deal with really, really topical issues that are very, very relevant in today's society and in the discussions taking place. Boy Erased was about a boy whose dad was a minister, and he came out as gay, and they sent him to conversion therapy, and just what that was like and getting out of it. And Ben is Back. Julia Roberts is Ben's mom, and Ben comes home and he's battling drug addictions and all that stuff. And he just gave amazing performances in both, and it was really, really weird. I feel like because he was in two movies at once, people didn't really know what to nominate him for, which happened to quite a few other people this award season. We'll get to that. So that's everybody for Best Actor. All right, let's just keep moving right along. So next, I love this category. This is Best Actress, and we had such an amazing array of performances this year, just a wide range of many, many different, strong women characters. And I was really happy with nominations. So first up, we have Yalitza Aparicio in Roma, amazing movie. It's on Netflix, so people didn't know if she would get nominated because that's kind of like a new platform. They didn't know how the Academy would react, but after Mudbound broke down that door last year, I think it's staying open. Next up, we have Queen Glenn Close herself in The Wife. So many thoughts that I just want to bust out about that, but we'll save them for a bit. Next up, we have living icon herself, Lady Gaga, in A Star is Born. Just let's take a moment to appreciate that woman and just everything she does for us. Next, we have Olivia Colman in The Favorite, amazing movie, amazing performance. And then Melissa McCarthy in a dramatic role, which surprised a lot of people, in Can You Ever Forgive Me? So my predicted winner for this season is Glenn Close in The Wife. A lot of people were surprised that she won initially at the Golden Globes. But here's the thing. I've been following, this movie came out beginning of 2017, and I've been wanting Glenn Close to win an Oscar for a very long time because I feel like she was robbed back in the 80s just for a lot of roles, but mainly for Fatal Attraction. I love Sharon Moonstruck. No shade to that. And, she won her Oscar. I'm so happy for her. But I feel like Cher should have won her Oscar for Mask, and Glenn should have won for Fatal Attraction. So when this movie came out and I heard that she was getting amazing reviews, I'm like, great, she might finally have a shot. Some people were thinking that they would give her the award just as like a makeup for all the times they snubbed her. But I saw The Wife, and it's phenomenal, and it really is the best performance out of these 5 nominees. Is it Glenn Close's best performance ever? No, she's given better performances, I feel like. But in terms of this year, it is the best performance. And so she has that going for her, which I think is why she'll win. She also has the past snubs that will make up. But also, Glenn is the most nominated living performer alive without an Oscar. We'd be lying if that say that didn't have a factor for Oscar voters, because while they should vote for just who's the best actress, that's hardly ever the case with most people. Not to shade the Academy, but so I really do think she's going to walk away with this one. But there were amazing performances this year. So if there is an upset, I think it would be Olivia Colman in The Favourite. She's a critical darling right now. She's from England, and she's been getting amazing reviews over there for her work for years, and only just now is she breaking into the U.S. market. So they might want to, you know, give her this award because she gave an amazing performance, and you know the Academy loves the Brits. Helen Mirren's win for the Queen, you know, all that stuff. Deserved, by the way. But I think they might, I think she really does have a strong shot at winning this Oscar if, you know, Glenn were to not. And she's been winning other awards all season. The other would be Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, because Gaga, here's the thing, she gave a phenomenal performance. And when Diana Ross first, you know, came on the acting scene with Lady Sings the Blues, I forgot which critic it was. I think it was some famous critic, I'm forgetting who, but they said about her performance that it's not a classic singer turned actress, you know? It's not her breakthrough as a singer in the movie world. It was acting. And that's how I feel about Lady Gaga. It wasn't this big, like, oh my God, Gaga's in a movie, let's nominate. No, like, it was some of the best acting all year, hands down. And she really holds her own amongst some very, very seasoned professionals. It was a phenomenal performance. There would be other factors, though, to put into it. They might give it to her just because she's Lady Gaga, you know? I could see that. She's pretty awesome. But also the Academy loves, and I mean loves, awarding first-time nominees, which I think could also be a factor. You had Marion Cotillard for La Vie en Rose, and I think she won in 2008. Very deserved. You had Brie Larson in Room, 2015. Again, very, very deserved. So we have those two, and you know, I think we have pictures of them. I think we got, I don't know what, there we are. There's Marion. And then we had Brie Larson in Room. Again, very deserved. They look gorgeous. And they aren't the only ones. You know, there were some other people to have won. Yeah, okay. Next. Not even going to get into that mess. So, snubs in this category. We have, first up, Nicole Kidman in Destroyer. Here's the thing. Nicole was in Boy Erased too, and I think it was another case where she had two movies that had phenomenal reviews, and voters just didn't know which one to go for. So they were like, guess we're just like gonna go for none. Which that's, you know. But, and I think also she had a lot of makeup on. It was another transformative role. But where it differed from Christian Bale and Vice is Vice, you know, had a big all-star cast. It was promoted by a big studio. Destroyer is a small indie film, and she kind of had to divide her time in between promoting Boy Erased and that. And she had some other movies, and she had Aquaman come out and some other stuff. So she was really busy, and I feel like if she would have had time to just promote one, she would have had a better shot, you know? Or if just one of them would have come out at a, you know, spaced it out more. But that was sad. Julia Roberts in Ben is Back. Look, a lot of people said this is Julia Roberts' best performance since Erin Brockovich, and they always throw that movie in because it's what won her Oscar. This is one of Julia Roberts' best performances, period. End of sentence. She also spent award season promoting, you know, her show Homecoming, which is also amazing. So I really don't feel like she had enough time to focus on this, and neither did Lucas Hedges because he was in Boy Erased. But it's sad. I feel like any other year, this year this category is just stacked. I feel like any other year Julia would have for sure gotten that nomination. So check that out. It's an amazing movie. My mom called me after. She was like, oh my God. I'm like, I know. But so next up, we have Emily Blunt in Mary Poppins. And those who follow the Oscars and those who go to movies and know Emily Blunt know that she has deserved an Oscar nod for so long now. And we all thought this would be the year because she gave, again, not one, but two amazing powerhouse performances that just everyone was talking about. She played Mary Poppins. How do you compete with that? No, I feel like no other living actress could play Mary Poppins and do it justice other than her. Like, she did phenomenal, and she sang so well, and she took what was an amazing movie. It was a really, it was a good movie. I feel like just from the get-go, it was doomed to be compared to the original, which you can't compete with, but the movie knew that. It was aware of that. So she took what was a really, really good movie and gave a phenomenal performance in it, and I was hoping she'd get rewarded for that. A lot of people thought she would, but wasn't. Next up, we have Toni Collette in Hereditary. I don't know when the Academy is gonna stop being scared to, nominate people for horror movies. I thought we'd gotten over that once Silence of the Lambs won Best Picture back in like the 90s. And then The Sixth Sense came out, and that won a bunch of awards or was nominated. But apparently not. Apparently that was like just a 90s thing. Yeah, that I don't want to say it. It makes me mad. So next up, these were talked about early on in award season and lost steam, so I was hesitant to include them, but you know what, I wanted to anyway because they're good movies and I wanted y'all to check them out. Viola Davis in Widows. Everyone thought she was going to get a nomination back in like October. The movie came out as like a 91 on Rotten Tomatoes. She got amazing reviews for her performance, but it's still, I don't know, it just didn't get the traction it needed. And also Regina Hall in Support the Girls. She is so underrated. Regina Hall. There we are. There she is, and she looked amazing at the premiere. She always looks amazing, but at the premiere, wow. I really wish the Academy would give more attention to more comedic performances. They've always had a history of not doing that, and she had some really good dramatic moments in this movie too, but I feel like she's a really underrated actress, and anything she's given, you can see her just dive into every role that's put in front of her, and I wish she would get more, credit in general. But yeah, that's my snubs for Best Actress. All right, moving right along into Best Supporting Actor. This is a really good category. I'm going to try and pick up the pace a bit because, I tend to ramble if you haven't figured that out yet. We have Mahershala Ali in Green Book. We have Adam Driver in BlacKkKlansman. We have Sam Elliott in A Star is Born. We have Richard E. Grant in Can You Ever Forgive Me? And there we go. And we have Sam Rockwell in Vice. All right, so my predicted winner is, no surprise here if you've been watching any award show this season or if you've gone to the movies and seen this, Mahershala Ali as Don Shirley in Green Book. Y'all, this movie, okay, here's the thing. I went and saw it, and I have to say, the first 40 minutes, first hour, it was good, but I felt like it was very bowling pin formation in terms of movies that take place in that era, just the same setup, same pacing, very similar plot lines I've seen in other things, not in terms of specifics, just, well, you have to see the movie. You'll know what I'm talking about. And again, some of the characters kind of succumb to, the caricature versions of themselves. But about an hour through the movie, just some stuff happens. I'm not going to say because spoiler alerts are my least favorite thing in the world. But there's a shift in tone, and then you really are able to see that chemistry between Mahershala and Viggo, well, their characters, but it's just his performance, a knockout. It's such an easy yes for me. He was so good. He was amazing. And yeah, so my money's on him. So if you're placing bets or whatever, your money should be too. Upsets in this category though, because the Academy's weird, they may not go for it. We thought, in the past that there were some for sure winners, and there weren't, If it was 2007, I would have said Eddie Murphy and Dreamgirls, and that didn't happen, They surprised us like that. So it might be Richard E. Grant as Jack Hawk in Can You Ever Forgive Me? It was a really, really great performance in a really good movie. And, he's a well-seasoned actor. And this is a true story. And his portrayal of Jack Hawk was amazing. It really, because he was Melissa McCarthy's character wasn't the friendliest. She wasn't that nice. And Richard E. Grant's character, Jack, was kind of like the comedic relief that we needed in this kind of intense, dramatic movie where just nothing's going right for her. And he was a good yin to her yang. And when he had to show his dramatic chops, he delivered. So I think that would only be really the only potential upset. Now the snubs. All right. First up, Twitter had a field day in crying over this the morning of the Oscar nominations. We have Timothée Chalamet in Boy Erased. I really do think he deserved a nomination. I love him. I feel like the fact that he's young works against him because I feel like people don't actually sit and watch, you know, and Lucas Hedges too. I feel like they don't watch their movies and take them seriously because of their age. He's an amazing actor. And I thought they would nominate him just because some people felt that he was snubbed for Best Actor for Call Me By Your Name. I was fine with that. I'm not going to say that because, I don't know, I would have liked to see him win for Call Me By Your Name, actually. Why lie? But, yes, so I thought they would give him a nomination just because some people felt that he was snubbed, but apparently not. Next up, this movie, one of the best of the year, one of the best movies I've seen ever. Like, it really surprised me. I'm not that big a fan of superhero movies. I mainly like Spider-Man and Batman, but like this movie, Michael B. Jordan and Black Panther, y'all, like, for Creed, I felt like he already didn't get his due for just that movie alone, but like, he really like delivered in this movie. It was amazing, and I really thought with the hype surrounding Black Panther, I thought the Academy would nominate him, especially because his performance was so good. But here we are, and he's on my snubs list. Oh my gosh, wow. All right, next up we have Brian Tyree Henry in If Beale Street Could Talk. He's amazing in Atlanta, and he really got to flex just his full range, because he was funny in this too, but he also had some scenes where like he would, you know, tell stories or whatever of certain things that happened to his character, and you didn't see everything. They didn't show you everything. And I don't even think his character, if I'm remembering right, said everything that happened to him. But like you could see in his eyes just like the fear and just the how the years had taken a toll on him, and just you were sucked in, you were drawn into his performance. And so I wish, just in general, he would have gotten more attention this award season, but he didn't. All right, Best Supporting Actress. Time to dive into this. This is an insane category. We have Amy Adams in Vice. We have Marina de Tavira in Roma. And before y'all even say it, I know that picture of her is blurry. They had some more HD photos, but that is my favorite scene in the whole movie, just those few seconds where that parade is walking around her. And I was trying to find an HD photo. I literally spent like 10 minutes looking for it, and I couldn't find it. I was like, I'm just putting it in there. Like, they can suck it up. So, yes, I'm aware it's not the best photo, but that scene was so good. And watch that movie. She was my favorite part of the movie. Next up, we have Regina King in If Beale Street Could Talk. I mean, what can I even say? Like, we know. Next up, we have Emma Stone in The Favorite. I was nervous because I saw The Favorite. I was like, I don't really know what this is. And yes, the trailers do not even give you an idea, really, of just how insane this movie is. Go see it. It's phenomenal. I was nervous for my girl because she was the American in a whole field of very British people. And I was like, is she going to stick out? Like, she's an amazing actress, but I'm like, that is a crazy, task that she's having to rise to the occasion to. She was probably my favorite in the movie. Like, I can go on the record saying that. She was phenomenal. She knocked it out of the park. This performance was just as good, if not better, than La La Land. And someone's probably in the comment section right now mad about it, typing up a whole thing. Y'all, Emma Stone's that girl, and she's going to, if y'all just thought she was a box office star, just watch. She's going to continue to deliver Oscar nominated or Oscar winning performances just for years. She's going to be she's one of the best actresses of our generation, hands down. Next up, we got Rachel Weisz, also in The Favorite. I was so excited for this because Rachel Weisz hasn't really gotten any awards attention since The Constant Gardener, and that was back in like 2005. And before that, I think people were just shocked. I mean, she was amazing in that movie, but I think people were just like, oh, the chick from The Mummy can act? Wow, let's give her an Oscar. She deserved it, though. But she's been turning in some amazing performances. My Cousin Rachel, Disobedience, with underrated icon Rachel McAdams. She also was supposed to play Jackie, which Natalie Portman knocked that out of the park. And definitely, I think she deserved more attention during award season. But yeah, I was so happy for this nomination. And I love these nominees. Really love them. Now, predicted winner. It's so easy for me. Seeing all these movies, it's Regina King for Beale Street Could Talk. Go see that movie. Like, the first half, because anytime I brought it, I was like, oh, I'm going to see Beale Street Could Talk, the first thing people would say was, oh, Regina King. And I'm like, man, this performance is really, like, hitting some people hard. And I saw the movie and I was watching, I'm like, yeah, she's amazing, but, like, why are people, you know, why is that the first thing they bring up? And then just her final scenes, just go see it. That's all I can say. She breaks your heart. Amazing. She's winning it easily. Landslide. Potential upset? There's not. But the Academy's weird. So I'm saying there won't be. But if there is, it's going to probably be Amy Adams in Vice because, again, this is her 6th nomination without a win. She's right on the heels of Glenn Close. If Glenn wins, which I think she will, and Amy doesn't, then she will be the most nominated living performer without a win. I think this should be her 7th nomination because I think there should have been more justice for her rival. But that's the past. I'm not mad about it anymore. But yeah, she never gets credit. So I think that if anyone were to beat Regina, it would be Amy. And she also gave a phenomenal performance. I loved Christian Bale in Vice, but Amy, wow. Like, holy... Yeah, I can't curse on Tiger TV, but you get the point. Yeah, she blew it out the water. Just from the very first scene, blew it out the water. So, yeah, I think she would, if anyone were to take the Oscar, that sounds so violent, but if anyone were to win instead of Regina King, I think it would be Amy Adams. All right, snubs. We got a lot, so I'm just going to go through these fast. Nicole Kidman in Boy Erase. I, already brought this movie up, but Nicole's character had the really difficult task. She was torn in between her husband, who was the minister, who felt one way about homosexuality, and her son, who was gay. And she was torn in between her love for her husband and their faith and her love for her son. And that is a very difficult balancing act that she handled like the pro she is. So, cried 5 times in that movie, by the way. Probably not a shock to anyone. But next up, we have Emily Blunt, again, in The Quiet Place. Again, Academy. Yes, this was a horror movie, but this was one of the best performances of the year. Probably one of, if not the best performance of, her career. And yeah, it's just, oh, and what's the photo I use? Is that a red carpet photo like I used for everyone else? Yes, but what red carpet is it? It's the press room for when she won the SAG Award. For what role? For her role in A Quiet Place. That's right, she won the SAG Award for A Quiet Place. And some people are saying she won just because she was snubbed at the Oscars, but here's the thing. I looked it up. SAG voting opened December 18th and closed January 25th. And Oscar nominations were only announced 3 days before voting closed. So unless in those 3 days everyone just felt really bad for her and voted, which I don't think is the case because they had over a month to vote, no, like, she deserved it. And if you see A Quiet Place, she deserved it. But moving on. Oops. Guess we're not moving on. Just next, we're going to move on. Oops, we're going to move on. Yeah, no, I'm not. It's making me mad. So, Okay, we had Claire Foy in First Man. A lot of people thought that this was a shoo-in, that she was going to get nominated. And a lot of people actually didn't think Marina de Tavira would get nominated for Roma. They thought it would be, ooh, actually, that's out of order. Sorry. We have Margot Robbie in Mary Queen of Scots. Sorry, I wasn't checking my screen. But here's the thing about Margot. We all know she's gorgeous. It's like a fact, like water is wet. Margot Robbie's gorgeous. I want to look like, Margot Robbie is a sentence that is probably just commonly said at this point by people that have, Tumblr accounts. Yeah, I feel like her beauty works against her because I feel like people are so just like caught up in her looks that they don't actually take time to watch her performances. When Wolf of Wall Street came out, nobody could stop talking about how gorgeous she was. She was on like all these Instagram, movie accounts. So she's stunning. But did anybody actually like watch her performance? Like it was so well acted. Same thing with I, Tonya. No, not same thing with I, Tonya. I'm sorry. Once I, Tonya came out and she got the Oscar nomination, I thought people would, I thought that was over. I thought people were like, oh, she's an amazing actress. And she got a SAG nomination, so I was thinking, it was over. But I feel like people just saw this as like the pretty girl making herself, look, not that attractive. And they just kind of dismissed it. And they really, really shouldn't have. Because Margot is one of the best actresses amongst, I guess I should call it new Hollywood, emerging actresses. But yeah, so next up we have, let me see. Oh, I did these all out of order. Yikes. We have Nicole Kidman in Boy Erased. I'm just going to talk about Claire Foy in First Man. I'm not sure where that pops up. But, yeah, no, not her. All right, go back. We're good. There's Sissy. We're fine. They know. Y'all saw what she looks like. Claire Foy was in First Man, which I thought would have gotten more attention. Everyone thought it would have gotten more attention this year. It was about the moon landing. But it didn't. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was just like the campaigning wasn't good enough. The reviews were there. It came out a little early, like October, but not like too early. I think October. But yeah, the one thing that everyone was talking about with this movie was Neil Armstrong's wife, and they didn't realize she did so much, and that was Claire Foy. So I thought she would have been a shoo-in. Also, she's coming off of the 2 seasons of The Crown, which she won every award under the moon for. So yeah, I don't know what happened. Next, make sure we're in order. I think it's Sissy Spacek. Yes, okay. Not that many people were talking about this, but I put it in here. I said I was going to go quicker, and I totally didn't do that, but whatevs. Sissy Spacek got a lot of buzz, like in October, again, when The Old Man and the Gun came out, because Robert Redford's last movie. And Sissy really hasn't gotten any awards attention since In the Bedroom, which was the scene where she and Halle Berry were going back and forth. Halle was winning awards for Monsters Ball, and they were just kind of going back and forth in terms of winning awards, and she hasn't really gotten any due since. She's done a couple shows here and there, but like in terms of movies, not so much. But she is just one of the best actresses ever. And I know I'm throwing that around a lot, but it just goes to show you how many phenomenal people we had this year making movies. But yeah, she's one of the best actresses ever. Like, and just people don't ever give her credit. But when you have Carrie, coal miner's daughter, In the Bedroom, so many movies under your belt. She had a role that was nothing in the book version of The Help and turned it into one of the best characters in the movie. Because she's able to do that. She's Sissy Spacek. So I thought she would get some credit for this, especially since it got amazing reviews, and it didn't. I woke up at 2 a.m. last night and remembered this role, and I was like, should I add it in? And I was like, yes, because I was like already like emailing all my stuff in, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about just how amazing she was in this role. Michelle Yeoh in Crazy Rich Asians, because I just kept on thinking of how amazing the ensemble is. Ensemble, and the Oscars doesn't have a best ensemble, award. That's the Screen Actors Guild Awards. But I was like, no, she gave a standout performance. And also, it wasn't just some like scary mother-in-law role. No, like, yes, she was that. And Constance Wu's character, Rachel, you felt that fear. Like, you're like, not like a horror movie, but, just she was like intimidating, and like you felt intimidated by her watching it, and that's crazy to me. But also it was a really, really good balance of that, and she was also really funny. And just she's an icon that, you know, has never really gotten her due in American film, I feel like. So I thought she would get just more attention in general. Didn't happen. And last up, Michael B. Jordan was amazing in Black Panther, but you know who else was just as good, if not better, just wowed me? The women of Black Panther. Like, oh my gosh. Like, Angela Bassett had, I feel like she should have more screen time, part one, because she doesn't get enough credit, but she just was phenomenal. And Lupita Nyong'o, again, just showing why, you know, she's, again, new Hollywood, all these emerging actresses of this past decade, one of the best, one of the top, easily. Showed why. Just, you give her the right role, and she just runs to town with it. She was phenomenal. Denai Guria, amazing on Walking Dead. Wish she would get more attention for that, but the Emmys don't really nominate that show, or Melissa McBride would have won by now. But yeah, I'm glad she's breaking into film because she's a phenomenal actress. And oh my God, just, well, all of them were amazing. But his sister in the movie, so fun. And the movie had a lot of really, really serious moments, and she was the comedic relief. And I feel like comedic performances don't get enough credit and attention from the Academy in general. That's a whole other can of worms, though, that we are not going to open. But she just, you know, she really stood her ground in this movie with, you know, some of the best actresses working right now. All right, so now that that's done, that's all of the acting. So place your bets with those. We're going to blow through these actually really, really fast. These are some other categories. I'm obsessed with the acting, as y'all can probably tell. Here are the rest of the awards. So we have Best Director. First up, we have Spike Lee in Black Klansman. We have Powell Pawlikowski for Cold War. We have Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favorite. We have Alfonso Cuarón for Roma. And we have Adam McKay in Vice. So my predicted winner, because it's, I don't know, I love Roma and The Favorite, but I think this was my favorite movie out of these. Well, I don't want to say that, but Spike Lee for Black Klansman, no one else could have directed this movie. Well, no one else could have directed this movie and made it as amazing as it was, because like I said, there were some moments in this film where I was laughing out loud, like literally, like I was like cackling, you guys. But there were some moments too where I was just infuriated, like so angry, just upset, angry, frustrated, and at some points I was like, you know, I was like crying in this movie. And when I talk about this movie with my friends, just it's amazing to see the response that, you know, how much it resonated with people, especially, you know, just our generation, how much they connected with it really made me, sorry, I think I hit my mic. It really made me happy how much people our age saw the importance of this film. But yeah, also, he was the best. We got on the possible upset already. But also working in Spike Lee's favor, this is his first nomination for Best Director, and we would be lying if that said that wasn't a factor. I feel like they're going to give it to him as a career Oscar, kind of like we all thought they would with Lauren Bacall back in the 90s, and they gave it to Juliette Binoche for The English Patient. Wow. I'm not mad about that, though. Some people still are. But it's not a career Oscar, and it shouldn't be looked at that as that. He deserved for a lot of other movies, too, but he definitely deserves for Black Klansman. Now, for possible upset, I would say Alfonso Cuarón and Roma, because he has the personal narrative behind it. He based it on growing up, you know, and Roma is a really, really big hit right now, and it's great, you know, and he did a great, fabulous job directing it. So I would say that would be the upset if there is one. Now, snubs, some people who are watching this, I know y'all were waiting for this. I know it, because a lot of people cannot get over this. I'm having a hard time, accepting it too. Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born. This was his directional debut. He directed A Star Is Born and people are like, yeah, but it's been done before, so like it really wasn't that difficult. Look, if it wasn't that difficult, then why didn't Barbra Streisand win every award under, the sun? And that's not to knock Barbra Streisand. She's one of the best singers, best actresses, of her time. People are going to give me flack for that. Of all time. There we go. Okay. But like, just because I feel like it's an established fact that remakes are not always that great as the original. And Bradley Cooper, you can see his hand throughout the movie. I don't think it would have been good if he hadn't directed. Ryan Coogler for Black Panther. How do you direct one of the best, not only superhero movies of all time, because it might be the best. That is, a lot of people are going to be like, Infinity War, and that, okay, I see your, this is my personal opinion. But how do you direct that and not, get a nomination? Also, I would say Bo Burnham for 8th Grade. This movie was like a surprise indie hit, got really, really great reviews. I love Bo Burnham, and I was hoping this would be his, breakout moment. Guess not, but, there's always upcoming years. So, next we have Best Animated Feature Film. We have Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mirai, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. You know what? Look, we don't even have to discuss this. It's going to be Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I watched the movies. I'm like swiveling, sorry. I watched them all, and it's such an easy win. It's just, go see it. That's all I'm going to say. If there was an upset, I'm not counting on it. I don't think anyone else would win, but it would be Disney. And Incredibles 2, made a lot of people happy. I loved Incredibles 2, but yeah, it would be that. Snubs, I'm really happy with the category, but Early Man, I feel like claymation, always kind of gets thrown on the back burner. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Go see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Best documentary film. All right, there's a reason why I did this, because I think we all know the winner, but I needed to rant about a thing or two. We have Free Solo. We have Hale County this evening. We have Minding the Gap. We have A Fathers and Sons, and we have RBG. Winner right now, flat out RBG. That's what it's going to be. There will not be a upset. It's going to be that. It's relevant. It's an amazing documentary, and just Twitter was having a field day with how much they have stan accounts for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and the Academy. In the era of Me Too and Time's Up and women empowerment and feminism, this is so relevant right now. And, I'm happy. It should win out of these nominees. Snubs. Here we go. Won't You Be My Neighbor? The documentary about Fred Rogers was not only the best documentary of the year, it was one of the best films of the year. I don't know how it didn't get nominated. It has like a 97 or 98 on Rotten Tomatoes. Audiences loved it. This summer, documentaries came out where it was like the summer of I think it was like the highest grossing documentaries in the past 20 years, I think they said, since the early 90s or late 90s. And it was largely because of this movie, Won't You Be My Neighbor, which, phenomenal. Find it, watch it. This next one, Three Identical Strangers, again, amazing reviews, don't know how it got snubbed. And this. The next one. There it is, Whitney. There was some controversy because some members of Whitney's party were saying some things weren't true. Look, that's the thing with every single music documentary or biopic or whatever. There will be conflicting narratives. It's just, it shouldn't even be news at this point. I mean, no, some of it should be news, but that I knew that was coming, especially with someone as iconic as Whitney. Yeah, it was phenomenal. It satisfied fans, people that aren't fans are going to learn about her, which I feel like you know about, but It's such a good movie, and I'm really, really surprised that it didn't get a nomination. All right, next up, Best Original Song. We can zip through this because we know. We know. And those of you who don't know, you're about to. All right, so we have All the Stars from Black Panther. Love that song. And it's a Billboard Top 10 hit, so congrats for that. I'll Fight from RBG with Jennifer Hudson on vocals. Love her. Shallow, A Star is Born, what can I say? The Place Where Lost Things Go from Mary Poppins Returns, and When a Cowboy Trades His Spurs for Wings from The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. We know the winner. There it is, Lady Gaga and A Star is Born. I put that picture of her with the Golden Globe and the long dress because why not? Just to really drive home the point that she's the icon she is. And Nicole Kidman supports the win, so I don't know why you wouldn't. So that's the next picture, but what else? Potential upset. I mean, I honestly don't think, there she is, there's our queens. I don't think there will be, but if there is, it's going to be Mary Poppins because it was a really good song, but also it's Disney. The Academy loves Disney. Snubs, just really one that bothered me. I don't know what Dolly Parton, my girl, did to the Academy, but I feel like she was snubbed for Girl in the Movies from Dumplin'. She's been snubbed by them before, but yeah, I was kind of sad. All right, Best Foreign Language Film. Capernaum, we have Cold War, we have Never Look Away, we have Roma, and we have Shoplifters. We can all say it in unison. The winner is going to be Roma. It's phenomenal. It's not only the best foreign language film, it is one of the best films of the year. It's really, really great. The acting, phenomenal. Script, just so good. Yeah, so that's my predicted winner, but potential upset could be Cold War. It has its fans. I liked it. Yeah, and it's gotten it's won a lot of awards so far. So yeah, snubs. I'm really happy with these nominees, but I would say Birds of Passage, I would have liked to see that in there. All right, and the final one, what it was all leading up to. You made it, congrats. I know I talk a lot, but you made it. Here's the moment. All right, we have, for Best Picture, we have Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star is Born, and Vice. So my predicted winner, some people are probably gonna, next. Sorry, oh my gosh, sorry. There it is, all right. Black Panther, I know some people are probably commenting right now, like, stop with the hype, it's over, whatever. No, y'all, this movie, phenomenal. It's the performances, the writing. You were on the edge of your seat your whole time. You're laughing, you're crying. It is, and it's so important. It is such an important movie. Yeah, just that's it. I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care what the polls say. That's winning Best Picture. But because it's the Academy, if there were upsets, y'all are gonna give me flack for this, for the upsets. But next one, there it is. I know y'all are probably thinking, pick one, do your job better, which, good point. But all of that's how good all these movies are. It is such a close call for all of them. Each one of them has reasons why they would win. The Favorite, critics are going crazy for it right now. Amazing performances, great script, and just some themes that are very, very relevant to today. Green Book, critics are in love with it. I felt like it kind of fell victim to cheesiness and every now and then just with the writing, but the performances, I felt like the actors really killed it, and audiences are loving Green Book. I loved it too. I just don't think it's Best Picture, but I do think it has a shot. Roma, like I said earlier, one of the best films of the year. Really has a great narrative working for it. Audiences are loving it. They might want to give it because Netflix, they just want to be open to that. And A Star is Born, like I said with Bradley earlier for Best Director, they might give it Best Picture's compensation for snubbing him. And when Robert Redford did Ordinary People, that was his directorial debut, Best Picture. When Kevin Costner did Dances with Wolves, well, won Best Director for that too. Won Best Picture. Cooper wasn't nominated for Best Director. That just may up his chances of A Star is Born winning Best Picture, which I wouldn't be mad about, but I do think Black Panther deserves. So yeah, that's it. Snubs, I would just say, look, y'all, Crazy Rich Asians, that changed the game. It did. It was phenomenal. It was funny. It made you cry. It brought rom-coms back from the dead, which I'm not going to blame Katherine Heigl's era of late 2000s rom-coms for that, because I feel like she takes enough heat already. But there were some rough movies that came out in that era. So rom-coms have just kind of been dead, I think we could all agree, for the past couple of years. This brought it back. Rom-coms just were so big in 2018. And it was mostly because of this movie. And it was just outside of the realm of rom-coms. It was a phenomenal movie. And every single person in the cast brought their A game. It was so great. I saw it multiple times. Next. Yeah, I put it again just because I'm really mad that it didn't get it. Okay. Next, we have A Quiet Place, again, with horror movies getting snubbed. Incredibly well written, well acted, well directed. I should have made a case for John Krasinski getting snubbed, because honestly, he was for Best Director. It was phenomenal. But, you know, what can you do? First Man, talked about this earlier. Feel like it should have gotten more due. Surprised it didn't. But, yeah. And I think the last one I had, yeah, I was really sad 8th grade didn't get the attention that I think it deserved. But, you know, I really am happy with everything nominated for Best Picture. I feel like it has a fair shot. I feel like BlacKkKlansman probably won't win just because people are so focused on Spike Lee. Not that it wouldn't, you know, I would be happy with it, but I feel like people are mainly just focused on voting for Spike Lee. I feel like that's the top priority. Bohemian Rhapsody, too much controversy surrounding it, I don't think. And even though it's like the box office receipts are there, I don't think the critical praise was. And Vice, just critics are way too divided about it. I enjoyed it, and I thought it reflected how America was kind of divided about, you know, their stance on Dick Cheney. I think that's why the movie portrayed him in kind of different lights, but, you know, I don't think critics are, you know, I don't think some of them got that, if that was even what they were trying to do. But yeah, Black Panther's, I think, the for sure lock for Best Picture, but we'll just have to see. All right, thank you for bearing with me. If you're betting money on it, place it now. Thanks for joining me. It's my favorite time of the year, and I'll see you after the biggest night in Hollywood. Thanks, you guys.